Hello Aquarius, and welcome to my channel Inspiring Life Changes. My name's Colette and I'm here today to do a reading for all you Aquarius that are Sun, Moon, Venus and Rising Aquarius, and also cusp Aquarians as well. If you don't know where those placements are, there will be a free link in the description box down below for a natal chart for you to go and check them out. So you may also want to check out those readings that will relate to your moon and your Venus and your rising as well, because you may find more information there, more messages coming through for you, because it's not always just about your sun sign. Also, there's something else I was going to say, and already my mind is going blank about things, so maybe I will just start the reading and see what comes through. Cross watchers, I was also going to say, because I'm going to use two decks of cards here, one for yourselves Aquarius and also one for your person, but you may feel that those messages are crossed over literally, so it's entirely up to yourself Aquarius and cross watcher as to how you read this and how you take this. Whatever resonates for you, then if it resonates, that's fine. This is just a general read, I will say that now, so it's not going to resonate with all you Aquarians out there. So if it doesn't resonate with you, like I said, go and check out those other messages as well. And for cusp Aquarius, before I forget, because this is what I was going to say, so you're either going to be at 0 degrees of Capricorn moving into Aquarius, or you're going to be 0 degrees of Pisces moving away from Aquarius. So it can be also, say, like 29 degrees 50 something or other. If you're very close to that last point before it moves over into the next sign, then you can also read both the previous and your sun sign as well, because that may also make more sense. I hope that has made sense for you as I've tried to explain it to you, Aquarius. So also what I've been doing is separating, or I have separated from my goddess deck of cards, all the cup cards here. So I've been choosing one card, which is the overall kind of energy for your love reading, which is what this is all about. And the reason I'm doing love readings is because it's Gemini season, and Gemini has a lot of activity happening at this moment in time. We've just had the new moon, we've got the sun, Mercury has been in Gemini, Venus is retrograde in Gemini, which is really why I'm doing this, because a lot of the time when Venus goes retrograde, things can kind of come back round again, relationship wise especially. And also we have the moon's north node moved into Gemini as well, so there is a lot of activity. And the smoke that you're seeing, by the way, is coming from the joss stick that I have lit that is behind the camera here. So that's, don't panic, it's just the smoke rising up. So so yeah, a lot of activity in Gemini, which is kind of moving us out of that really heavy and dense energy that we've had with Capricorn over the last few years. So the Page of Cups here, or the Prince of Cups as he's known in this deck, being in reverse, is saying to me, Aquarius, that you may have been feeling the need to kind of retreat and recoup, a kind of energy of taking yourself out of the picture or taking yourself off the table in a way, if you know what I mean. It's like kind of taking yourself out of the kind of dating scene. You may feel as though you've had to give yourself some space to heal, because this card can be about healing. It's a young energy, the Prince, the Page, so it's kind of baby steps of kind of allowing yourself to believe again in a way that it's possible to love. Usually this energy is after a time of having been wounded in the past and kind of retreating. I tend to see this energy as a bit like an animal, where an animal, when it's wounded, it will kind of find itself its own little space to kind of disappear into and kind of heal itself. It's a similar energy, I feel, with this card here, with this Prince of Cups that's coming through for me today. It's a time of recouping your emotional self. And I'm not saying that you haven't kind of been out there, even though at the moment it's probably been quite difficult to be out there as well, to be honest and fair to you. But they're kind of, because of the previous relationship, maybe even, Aquarius, you have had to kind of deal with an emotional situation that has made you question yourself on quite a deep level, I feel. With the Prince of Cups in reverse, this kind of withdrawal, this kind of not wanting to be emotionally connected to anybody in particular, maybe as well. You may have had lots of kind of friendships, but you may not have wanted to take anything any further for a while, Aquarius. First card that's come out for you here is the Nine of Wands, and the Nine of Wands is literally saying to me that you have been down on your knees here. It's been a struggle. It has been really hard for you. And I feel with all these rods behind you here, it's almost like you've been kind of not so much guarded in front, but guarded behind. Like from your past. Something from your past that you've been kind of needing to protect yourself from. Not allowing that energy back into your life. And that hasn't been easy for you. Because literally you can see that he is on his knees here. And if you look at the background as well, it's quite stormy and it's quite... it kind of relates for me to the emotional kind of mental state, the kind of... It's like you've been in a lot of turmoil, Aquarius. That's what's coming through for me here. It's kind of a lot of turmoil. Dark skies, kind of getting yourself out of a situation that was kind of oppressive and heavy for you. But the 9 is kind of saying that it's almost done. You're almost through that. But let's see what we have, Aquarius, as your covering energy here. What is blocking Aquarius at this time? Judgment. Judgment is your covering, kind of blocking energy. It's what you're needing to release. It's what you're needing to let go. So for me, this is literally saying that it's time for you to move out of this energy. It's almost like you've been in this energy for a long time and you've let lots of things go. So you're at this 9 stage, but you're still kind of keeping yourself in that energy, if you like. It's like you're still kind of you're still holding on to, like, you don't want to step out of this. There's a kind of element of safety here for you as well, I feel. Like you've got yourself into this safe zone and you don't want to kind of go beyond that. But this Cool card here is kind of saying to me that it's time for that to take place. It's like it's time for this Prince of Cups that's in reverse to become upright and for you to kind of step forward again and allow your heart to open. Because if you see here, these kind of... I'll just get up and show you closer. There's these people, which kind of represent for me past experiences, past relationships, people that have affected you emotionally, that you are still holding on to, situations that you're still holding on to, but you need to let it go. And it is heart related, because I'm always drawn to this kind of shape of his face here. So it's like there's something happening outside of yourself in a way, and on a bigger level, like you've kind of, how can I put it? You've kind of, like with this Nine of Wands, this is what I was going to say, the Nine of Wands, it's like you've got to that stage where you're almost at the 10. You're almost at the 10, but at some point you're kind of holding yourself there because you don't want to go into that zone. Like once you get to the 10, it's like what then? What do I do then? Once I get to the 10, once I get to that place of kind of really having to let everything go and having to move my life forward. What do I do? What do I do? How can I do that? In your head, and what you're aware of at this moment is the Four of Swords. So like I was saying, there is this energy I feel where you're kind of just staying in that memory, really, emotionally you're still in that memory, because it's in reverse as well. I always feel with this reverse card that these three swords represent that kind of that moment of realization that something was very wrong in your relationship. It's that kind of like, you know, that really no return point where the bubble is burst and you see the reality of how things actually are. And you're kind of, you've got your hand reaching down to this sword down here, but there's a kind of sense of exhaustion. There's a kind of sense of, as I was saying, with this cup here as well, this kind of recouping energy. Recouping, because it is and has been very exhausting for you, Aquarius. Whatever this has been about, it has taken a lot out of you. And you're still feeling it. You are still feeling it. At least mentally, you're still feeling it. It's like you're kind of keeping yourself in that energy. Like you haven't allowed yourself to let that go and release it and to move forward. And I feel that it has a lot to do with fear. We've got the Five of Swords come out here. The Hermit and the Fool, who are both in reverse. And this is the past energy. This is what you've been working through. This is what you've been working with, the energies here. So you've been working through, for me, the Five of Swords is a card of, with a 5, it's always, for me, about adversity. It's always about situations that are difficult, are a struggle, are things that kind of challenge us, things that we really have to how can I put it, things that we really have to question ourselves about as well, about our motives and about the motives of the other person involved as well. It's kind of taken a deeper look at what lies behind what has happened. What were the motives here? It can also be, when it's in reverse, it can also be to do with sabotage as well. So there could also be this sense of you feeling like you have been in this situation of sabotage as well. Or that you saw something coming but you still did it anyway. Or you allowed something to happen that you knew was going to happen. Maybe because you couldn't believe that it would actually take place, that this person would actually do that. So you kind of, in a way, allowed it. That's kind of what I'm picking up on some level here for some of you Aquarians out there. Because the Hermit in reverse is saying to me that it kind of has driven you into this place, which I feel is very much the same energy here in many ways. It's kind of taking yourself out the picture, taking yourself into into a place of, again, the motives, the questions, the kind of just wanting to hide from the world and hide yourself away, and kind of healing, that healing process that I was talking about with that Prince of Cups card there, that healing process that has had to go on. Because I always see the Hermit as well as a sense of kind of the caterpillar that turns into something else. So you're kind of in that stage, or you have been in that stage of kind of transforming yourself while you've been in this. It's a kind of, for me, the Hermit is about wisdom on a deeper level. But I feel on some level now, Aquarius, you're kind of stuck in that chrysalis stage of kind of almost ready, but not quite wanting to take that leap, because it's come out with this Fool in reverse as well. So this is how I kind of see, this is the caterpillar chrysalis stage, if you like, and this is more the butterfly coming out of that energy, transformed, new, taking a leap into the unknown. But because it's in reverse, like I was saying, I get this strong feeling of you just kind of staying in an energy that you're used to, because you're used to it, because it feels comfortable now in an uncomfortable way. It's not like it's comfortable, happy, comfortable. It's like almost like you've kind of grown into it, almost like you've kind of got used to it. It's familiar, and now you don't want to change. You don't want to change it. You don't, it's kind of like, you know, what happens if I do that? So we have the Temperance card below, we have the Eight of Swords, and we have the Page of Swords. So the Temperance card is saying to me that there was an imbalance, an obvious imbalance in this relationship. Maybe one person was more putting in more than the other. Those two cups there for me always represent the masculine and the feminine energies, like the divine masculine, the divine feminine, who in a relationship, again, it doesn't have to be, but it kind of, even I find often with the same gender relationships, there will always be one who will be kind of a bit more dominant than the other. So there's always this kind of masculine feminine energy play that goes on. And I have been around a lot of kind of kind of think of the words now, brain's gone completely dead. I've been around a lot of couples that are both the same gender, and I have kind of seen it play out sometimes quite strongly and sometimes quite subtly. But all I'm saying here is that this energy is about somebody not putting as much of their time, their thought, their energy, their effort into something. And maybe possibly somebody also trying to make something happen before it was ready as well. There can be an impatience in this card, particularly when it's in reverse. But I'm feeling more that it was an imbalance. It was more the kind of imbalance and disharmony from this. Because there's also the Eight of Swords in reverse, which is saying to me that this relationship and yourself in general ended up feeling like you were in quite a trapped situation. And you may want to check out the Capricorn reading that I did yesterday, Aquarius, because that had a similar kind of vibe and a similar energy to it as well. So that may also resonate with you. But this relationship, I feel as though it kind of not only did it trap you, which is what this 8 is about here, and this feeling of not being able to break free, but also a sense of your individuality, not being allowed to be who you actually were. Like possibly the relationship didn't allow you to but you had to kind of hide parts of yourself, or you felt the need to hide parts of yourself, which is also possibly this temperance energy here as well, and why you felt that you weren't able to express maybe as well. Temperance communication can be about expressing, it's also about listening, it's about that flow of relationship, it's about keeping that flow. If there is no flow going, i.e. two people have to communicate in order for there to be any form of relationship, and if that flow of communication is stopped, then the relationship stagnates, it dies, there's nothing there. And so you may feel as though you had to hold back on a lot within this relationship with this person, Aquarius. Because you also have the Page of Swords here as well in reverse. And the Page of Swords in reverse, because it's a page, it can definitely be very young and immature energy. And because it's in reverse and a swords, it's to do again with communication. Or lack of communication. It could be somebody who's been behaving very immaturely. Somebody who couldn't communicate maybe in the way that you maybe wanted them to communicate with you, Aquarius. It is the card of air. Swords, air, the mind, communication, thinking, intellect. It relates to yourself, Aquarius, and Libras and Gemini energy. So I just feel a lot of blockage here, a lot of blockage, a lot of not being able to express who you really were. Your ideas perhaps as well. Maybe your ideas were not allowed to be communicated. Maybe you were put down very easily by this person as well. Maybe they kind of made you feel stupid and immature and young and like you didn't know what you were talking about, Aquarius. You have moving in the moon energy here. And this is a time in reverse as well. This is a time of real kind of confusion. A time of you, again, retreating, but emotionally. Emotionally, I feel as though you're just going through the motions, literally, just kind of going through the motions. You're not really feeling it, I don't feel. I don't feel as though you're really kind of yeah, I just get this sense, Aquarius, that you're not really feeling things deeply. It's more kind of surface level of things. You're just kind of reacting to things because you feel that that's the right thing to do at this time. I'm getting a sense of this just kind of, how can I put it? Like you're like you're yeah, just kind of this, just this whatever. It's like a whatever energy is what I'm kind of picking up here. It's like, yeah, whatever. There's no real connection to anything. There's no real, it's just this kind of sense of, okay. And just this, yeah, this kind of whatever energy is what I'm picking up. You may be going through this time of just kind of acceptance in a way as well, maybe just like, whatever, I'll accept it. If this is how it is, then this is how it is. But there could also be a sense here of you feeling confused with it all as well, and kind of having to accept that you don't have all the kind of knowledge and all the answers and all the information and all the kind of pieces to put together to make up the bigger picture. But I just kind of get this whatever energy that you're going to be moving into Aquarius, which is quite interesting. Okay, let's see what this other person is feeling. You may also feel, Aquarius, that you are going to be reflecting other people's emotions back at them as well, because this has got like this mirror for me here with this moon here, this moon energy, and the moon does relate to the Cancer energy as well. The home, the nurturing, the safety, again that sense of kind of not wanting to come out of your shell, possibly is that as well, Aquarius. But maybe deep down inside you're actually feeling so much that you're kind of not wanting to express it. Again, maybe you've not been allowed to express, so maybe for you it's going to be a time of learning how to express your feelings and your emotions. But it's not going to, you're not going to find it easy to do that, because there has been this time of where you've not been allowed. I have the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. So I'd say that this person is quite stubborn. They're not wanting to change themselves. They're not wanting to look at their own problems. They're not wanting to take yours on board. Quite a selfish, it feels like quite a selfish energy as well, keeping their, what's theirs, there is theirs kind of energy. Like, don't expect me to share it, don't expect me to yeah, which is kind of what I was picking up with this Temperance energy down here as well. This person was not very balanced. They were quite selfish. They were quite kind of yeah, just stubborn. Just very kind of like, you know, this is how it is, high road. Take it or leave it type of energy here. And what they've got going on with their crossing energy here is the High Priestess. So they may well be feeling a bit lost without you, Aquarius. It's kind of what I'm picking up here. They may be feeling quite lost. They may be feeling that they didn't realise what they had until it's gone. And now that you've gone, they're kind of thinking, oh, where's Aquarius? Why are they not in my life anymore? And it may force them to kind of look at themselves on a deeper level as well. The High Priestess, intuitive, intuition, feelings, knowing. But this is all the things that they're not doing. They're not allowing themselves to feel, trust their instincts, accept that there's a kind of emotional, subconscious, intuitive realm. They're very much of the physical world. So you could be dealing with somebody who's got a lot of earth in their chart. Could be a Capricorn, could be a Taurus, could be a Virgo, or like I said, just somebody who has a lot of earth placements. They don't even have to be one of those signs, but they could just have that, maybe a rising or their Venus or something like that is quite strongly placed in an earth sign. So in their head, and what they're aware of is that their world, it's like the ending of that cycle. It's like the cycle has finished. And they are trying to balance themselves up. They are trying to come to terms with their inner and outer world, I feel. And kind of see a bigger picture. And this person may have been very kind of narrow in their thoughts as well. And you may have wanted to try and help them with that, Aquarius, and show them kind of a bigger vision. But this person may not have been open to that at all. But the world is upright for them. So there is an ending here. There is something that is completing for them. There is something, it could just be the relationship is ending for them and that there is no going back here. I've got 2 cards, oh, 3 cards actually falling out here. Okay. So they're dealing with strength, the 10 of Wands and the 2 of Swords. Okay, I'm going to take the 2 of Swords as the first card because I saw that initially. These other 2 are upside down, so I'm going to take this one first. So the 2 of Swords is saying that they've been put in this situation where they don't want to be, of having to make a decision about something. And maybe you, Aquarius, force them into that decision. This could also be third party as well. The 2 of Swords, because there is 3 people here. But the person that's stuck in the middle here is the person who doesn't want to see things, doesn't want to be involved in what's going on around them. So maybe this person had problems. Again, as I was saying, you know, this kind of energy of one person putting in a lot more than the other. This card could also relate to that energy. That they just kind of closed their eyes and their ears off to maybe you sounding them out and kind of like, you know, trying to get them involved in the relationship, trying to kind of, you know, talk through your problems maybe. And this person just didn't want to know, just closed off. And shut themselves down. But they have the Strength card here as well. So they also have a lot of internal stuff going on because the High Priestess is also in a kind of underground, underworld, subconscious level. And all of this here for the Strength card is also taking place within a cave. And for me, the cave and the steps here represent going down further into your subconscious, into your deeper emotional realm. And this person may be being forced to kind of find that inner strength to actually kind of take some steps towards looking at themselves, even like finding that inner strength for them to grow. The lion can often represent a need to be less physically strong and more kind of mentally, more kind of inner strength, rather than kind of being aggressive and outwardly strong. But in this card, with this strength card, Hercules is trying to kill this beast, this magical beast, and the only way he can do it is literally by using his bare hands, because everything else kind of bounces off of this beast. You can see down there the sword is kind of broken, arrows haven't worked. So this magical beast, if you like, he's having to wrestle with it, literally wrestle with it. And I think that's kind of what this is saying, is that this person is having to wrestle with their own conscience in a way. Because of this high priestess energy here as well. And you have the Ten of Wands energy after this, which is saying to me here that they are consumed by their failure, is kind of what I'm picking up here. They feel as though they failed somehow. They feel as though they should have reacted differently. They should have responded differently. They should have given you more, maybe more time and more attention. And they are consumed by this. They are upset by it. It has got them in deep thoughts here. You can see they've got their chin on their hands there, and all those kind of flames for me around their head is their kind of consumed energy of kind of like eating them up in a way. It's like the fire, the passion, the drive. It's like all of a sudden the relationship not being there anymore. They have nothing to put all of this into. So it's just consuming them. It's just kind of, they're just caught up in their own feel like sadness and sorrow, maybe guilt as well. Aquarius. But they're definitely regretting, because also for me the Ten of Wands is kind of saying that, you know, what they had was really good, but they didn't realise it until now. It's like now that it's not there, they're now seeing what they had. Okay, so you've got the Empress in reverse, you've got the Nine of Swords in reverse, and you've got the Five of Cups upright. So you were, for them, although the Empress is up the wrong way, I feel as though this is their kind of As I was saying earlier with this Knight of Pentacles, there's a similar energy here. That this person was very, I would say controlling, because the Empress can be very controlling. I like to see her as the mother energy, but also she can be the smothering energy as well. So she can be very controlling. She can either kind of be the mother that kind of nurtures and grows her child and allows them to explore and to kind of live their life, but be there to support them. Or she can be the mother who's kind of very dominating and very kind of doesn't allow that child to live its own life and experience things for itself. So I'm kind of feeling that with this energy here in reverse, that this was a very kind of domineering kind of, again, you know, what's mine is mine type of energy. And with the Nine of Swords in reverse as well, I'd say that this person had possible like, I hesitate to say mental issues, but they had a lot of insecurities, maybe a lot of fears, a lot of worries, a lot of stresses. And this is kind of what they brought into this relationship. They brought it all in with them. And they kind of dumped it all on you, I'm feeling, with this 9 here as well. They kind of dumped it all on you, and they kind of expected you to carry it for them as well, Aquarius. And then kind of when you refused to do that, eventually when you refused to do that, they just run out. Or maybe you even feel that they run out on you again, as I was saying, with this 2 of Swords here, that this person was not good at communicating. Every time you wanted to find out more about them on a deeper level, on a more emotional level, on a kind of like, you know, open up to me level, let me in level, this person would run out. This person would just disappear. Like they would just shut down. Vroom. They may not literally have left the house or the room or whatever, but they would just shut down. They would just close off to you. Which was very frustrating for you, Aquarius. Very frustrating. So let's see what this person that you have still got an emotional connection with here. Otherwise they wouldn't be coming up in your reading, Aquarius. They've got the 10 of Pentacles in reverse. And I think this is with the moon, as I was saying, this kind of whatever energy. It's like, this is what they are kind of, like the 10 of Pentacles, when it's up the right way, it's about success, it's about family life, it's about achievement, it's about having gone all the way through the process of growing something slowly together, putting time into something together, teamwork, building. But when it's in reverse, it's saying to me that they're not happy with what they're getting. Again, it's that sense of failure. It's that sense of non-achievement. It's that sense of like, and there could be within this relationship, there could be children involved as well. So this could also be the breakup of family as well for some of you Aquarians. This could be things that are just kind of falling apart here. to the point of no return. So let's see what the Moonology cards have to say, which are normally out ready and waiting, but today they're not. So let's see what the wisdom of the moon is, seeing as you actually have the moon energy there as well, Aquarius. That'll be quite interesting to see what it's going to come up with for Aquarius. What do you need to release? That kind of says it all, really. Waning moon. The waning moon is when things shrink, when the moon gets smaller and smaller until it becomes like a new moon. And so it kind of disappears. So it's kind of saying that things are getting smaller. And as things kind of shrink and get smaller, you release and let go. Aquarius. That may well be what's the process that you're in at this time. May also be where you've got this moon energy as well. Because maybe you are kind of tuning into that emotional place of kind of like, you know, pulling back on your emotions. And that, I think, is maybe also why I keep getting this kind of whatever energy. Whatever. Maybe this person wants to come round and apologise and kind of say to you, let's, like, you know, let's try again, let's kind of rebuild this, and you're just kind of whatever. And not whatever as in like yes, but just like, you know, whatever as in how can you even think of that? You know, how can you even begin to ask me that? So Aquarius, you are needing to release. That's what it's saying here. What do you need to release? And that's very much this energy that I started out with for you here. This releasing of your past, of your ghosts, of the things that are kind of keeping you in that place of not being able to move forward, of in that kind of chrysalis stage, of like not wanting to come out and be the butterfly and show yourself. And that's maybe where you're at this moment in time, is like you're just still in the depth of your emotions here as well with this moon in reverse. So let's see what the universe would like to say to you, Aquarius. What is the wisdom? What are the messages? What is the advice? Please, universe, for Aquarius. Sun, Moon, Venus, rising and cusp of Aquarius. What is it you feel that would be of benefit for Aquarius to know at this time? What are the messages or the message for Aquarius? There we go. Accept the new raised energy on your own level of being. You must have no desire to cling on to or to lean on what you have called gods. And when I think of gods, I always think of kind of universe, or in this particular situation, it could also be somebody who you kind of put in a elevated position as well. Somebody who you put on a pedestal and kind of you got let down by them. But I feel that, you know, I mean, it's saying you must have no desire to cling on to. It's literally kind of saying the same thing here. You know, it is time for you to release and to become that butterfly is what I'm kind of feeling here. You know, a new raised energy on your own level of being. So you are already in that level of energy, but you're just not accepting it. You're just not ready yet. But it will happen, Aquarius. So those are the messages that I have for you today. I hope they have been of some help to you. Please could you thumbs it up and like my video so it gets out into the bigger YouTube world. More people can come back and look at my channel, and hopefully subscribe. If you haven't subscribed yet, please could you do so. Thank you very much to all of you who have subscribed to my channel recently. I really do appreciate it. Also tap that bell so that you can get the videos that I will be putting out in the future. There's also an email for you to send me an email if you're wanting a private personal reading where we go more in depth into your own story as well. If you're wanting more help and more advice on this, Aquarius, please feel free to email me, and also share my video with anybody who you feel may find some help in it, some advice. And there was one other thing that I was going to say. Comment. Please comment on my videos. I do like to get feedback. I do like to know how this is affecting you, whether you're resonating with it, whether it's your story, what's happening in your personal life as well. It would be nice to connect with people out there and actually have some connection. So please, Aquarius, take good care of yourselves during this time, and hopefully I will see you again soon.